Our protagonist, Du Zaiteng, is staring at the love of his life at their graduation photo shoot. But there's a twist. He's been reincarnated. In his past life, he spent 6 miserable years in a loveless marriage with her. Determined to change his fate, his first step is to cancel a custom necklace and change his university application. As they line up for the class photo, her friend assures her that Du will definitely stand right next to her. But Shen Yuchu is already feeling confused by his sudden coldness, noticing he hasn't spoken to her all day. Instead of acting like a loyal puppy, Du intentionally stands as far away from her as possible. The photographer counts down, and the defining moment of their high school lives is captured with them miles apart. Her friend tries to comfort her, claiming he'll surely seek her out for a private photo later. Acting haughty, Shen Yuchu stands tall, waiting for him to approach her first. But she's in for a surprise. Right in front of her, Du happily takes a photo with another girl, leaving Shen fuming. Later at the evening gathering, the class celebrates their graduation, which also happens to be Shen Yuchu's birthday. While everyone else is hyped, Du is just checking his phone, calculating the time to return her ungifted necklace. Across the room, Shen stares at him with tears in her eyes, wondering why he refuses to even look her way. Back at her mansion, her friend shows her a video of Du playing guitar and singing at the party. This only makes Shen angrier, realizing he's changing and acting completely out of character. She paces the stairs, furious that he hasn't given her a present or even followed her home like usual. She tries to convince herself that he must still have a surprise gift waiting for her. Meanwhile, after the party ends, a female classmate nervously follows Du on his walk back. Gathering her courage, she suddenly confesses that she's liked him for a very long time. Hearing this, Du is unexpectedly moved to tears, realizing he's finally experiencing what it feels like to be liked. He sincerely thanks the girl, expressing how much her confession means to him after a lifetime of rejection. He admits it's his first time being confessed to, and his genuine emotion surprises the girl. She reveals that many girls actually liked him, but they never spoke up until tonight. As a gesture of newfound friendship, they happily exchange WeChat contacts right there on the street. But guess who's watching this entire exchange from her balcony? A very impatient Shen Yuchu. Seeing him with another girl on her birthday pushes her over the edge, and she furiously retreats inside. Sitting alone with her untouched cake, she realizes she pushed away all her friends just to wait for his gift. The reality sets in that he completely ignored her birthday, and she vows to revoke his status as her loyal follower. The next morning, he leaves the house early, telling the maid he has things to do, avoiding Shen entirely. When Shen finally comes downstairs, the maid informs her that the young master has already eaten and left. Shen is shocked and insulted that he didn't even bother to tell her he was leaving the house. The maid gently suggests that since everyone knows she hates him, he's probably finally given up on her. Shen tries to brush it off, pretending she's glad to be rid of him, though her face tells a different story. Across town, Du heads straight to the high-end jewelry store to handle his unfinished business. The store owner warns him that returning a custom-made piece will come with a hefty penalty. But Du is resolute, stating coldly that the person he intended to give it to is no longer in the picture. He accepts a 70% refund, taking back a large sum of cash and leaving his past behind. With 2 months of vacation ahead, he decides to get a part-time job to earn his own money. He quickly lands a gig at a local milk tea shop, ready to start his new independent life. To his surprise, his new coworker is the exact same girl who confessed to him the night before. When she asks why a rich kid is working, he reveals his tragic backstory. He's actually an orphan. Later that night, an annoyed Shen Yuchu is waiting for him at the mansion's gates, demanding his attention. Still acting like an entitled princess, she orders him to go inside and cook her a bowl of noodles. Falling back into old habits, he expertly prepares the meal, utilizing the culinary skills from his past life. He knows her every preference, having spent 4 years as a house husband trying to win her affection. Yet as he cooks, a dark realization hits him. Despite knowing her inside out, she knows absolutely nothing about him. He serves her the food and immediately tries to leave, but she demands he stay and watch her eat. She takes a reluctant bite, only to be secretly blown away by how delicious his cooking actually is. But her stubborn pride prevents her from complimenting him, leading to a sarcastic, backhanded remark instead. Du just smiles bitterly, realizing that no matter what he did in his past life, she always claimed his food was awful. The tension spikes when Shen abruptly announces that they are returning to the capital city tomorrow. Without missing a beat, Du flat out refuses, stating he has his own business to take care of here. Enraged, Shen immediately assumes he's staying behind just to flirt with the girl who confessed to him. Hearing her harsh accusations brings back the painful memories of his past life, solidifying his resolve. Feeling utterly worthless in her eyes, he quietly gathers his bowl and heads to the sink. For a brief second, Shen realizes she might have gone too far, her own words stinging her conscience. In a rare moment of panic, she tries to grab his arm to stop him, but he immediately shakes her off. Looking her dead in the eye, he tells her they should maintain their distance from now on. The next day, the school principal calls, confused about Du submitting applications to 2 different universities. Du instructs the principal to tear up the application for the university Shen is attending, making a clean break. Shen tracks him down again, demanding to know why he's degrading himself by working at a milk tea shop. He calmly explains that she has never understood his lifestyle or his need for independence. Realizing she's losing control, Shen's grandfather calls her, making it clear that Du is free to leave the family. Later, Du speaks with the grandfather himself, confirming he won't be attending the same school as Shen. He reflects on his tragic past, a loveless, childless 6-year marriage where he was treated like a prisoner. He officially thanks the Shen family for their care, but declares he is stepping out of their world forever. True to his word, Du packs his bags and boards a train, leaving without telling anyone his destination. Meanwhile, a completely oblivious Shen Yuchu receives a message about a class reunion, setting up their inevitable next encounter. Believing Du Zitang will be at the class reunion, Shen Yuchu checks her phone, her heart fluttering with anticipation. Listening to a song he sang at graduation, she carefully prepares herself, eager to finally see him again. She says a quick goodbye to her grandfather and excitedly hops into the waiting car. Her friend playfully teases her during the drive about dressing up so nicely just to see a certain someone. They arrive at the lavish restaurant, fully expecting to find him waiting inside with the rest of the class. But as the class monitor greets them, Shen Yuchu quickly downs a drink, scanning the crowded room. Her eyes land on a classmate named He Qiang, who is weeping alone on a couch. The boy babbles about drinking happy wine, clearly devastated by some recent news. He blurts out the devastating truth. Du Zitang has already left for college, abandoning him. The class monitor steps in, confirming that Du Zitang left half a month ago and completely vanished from their group chat. He adds the crushing detail that Du Zitang even changed his university application at the last minute to avoid them. Shocked and heartbroken, Shen Yuchu abruptly flees the restaurant and races back to the family estate. She sprints into the house and bursts into his room, only to find it empty, with just a few clothes left in the closet. Calling his number yields a dead line, causing her tough exterior to finally crumble as she breaks down in tears. Trying to salvage her pride, she angrily mutters that he can't survive without her anyway. When her friend arrives, she orders her to drive to the capital estate, strictly forbidding any mention of his name. Desperate for answers, she demands her grandfather explain what happened and if he knew about this. The old man calmly reveals that Du Zitang owed them nothing and had explicitly asked not to be held back. He advises her to let him go, but her unnatural calmness leaves the grandfather deeply worried about her state of mind. A month later, at Qingbei University, Shen Yuchu is approached by a handsome student with open arms. Yi Feng tries to play the childhood friend card, but she icily brushes him off, claiming not to remember him. Entirely focused on her rigorous double major studies, she heads straight for the library while her friend goes off to play. Meanwhile, her friend hits the clubs and stumbles upon a national university network on her phone. She makes a shocking discovery. A viral photo of a now dashing Du Zitang attending Huabei University. Reading the comments, she realizes how popular he's become and remarks that Shen Yuchu really lost this round. Armed with this new intelligence, she immediately leaves the bar to track down her stubborn friend. She finds Shen Yuchu studying in the library and teases her with the news, which Shen Yuchu pretends to ignore. But the moment she sees his photo, Shen Yuchu stares at it, tears welling up as she admits how much she misses him. Realizing he chose a school a 4-hour flight away just to avoid her, she is stricken with a mix of grief and fury. But her sorrow quickly turns to calculation. She figures if they can see Huabei's network, he can see theirs. She orders her friend to snap a stunning photo of her, one designed specifically to catch his eye. The friend posts the photo, fully aware of Shen Yuchu's manipulative plan to make him regret leaving. The plan works perfectly. At Huabei University, Du Zaiteng's phone blows up with the viral post. His classmates excitedly show him the picture, even starting to ship the two top campus beauties together. This viral attention enrages the rejected Yi Feng, who sits in a VIP club seething with jealousy. Plotting to destroy his rival's reputation, Yi Feng transfers a hefty sum to a professional troll. Despite the online frenzy, Du Zaiteng remains completely unfazed, telling his dorm mates he has no interest in her. Back in the capital, Shen Yuchu's friend is surprised he hasn't reacted, but Shen Yuchu smugly predicts he'll get jealous. She smirks, convinced this little game of making him eat vinegar will finally flush him out of hiding. When her friend warns her that Du Zaiteng isn't a normal guy, she decides to patiently give him more time. Shen Yuchu's popularity continues to skyrocket as she delivers a flawless speech as the freshman representative. Hearing the online chatter about Yi Feng's shady past, Du Zaiteng is just glad he changed his application to avoid that mess. He heads to the lab, where teacher Li is crying tears of joy over successfully synthesizing a rare perfume he helped with. She offers to auction it in the capital and give him the proceeds, inviting him to finally stop hiding and come along. As a reward, she even grants him exclusive access to her advanced laboratory for the next month. However, a troll secretly photographs their innocent meeting, spinning it into a malicious rumor online. While eating in the cafeteria, Du Zaiteng sees the viral post claiming he's a sugar baby kept by a wealthy older woman. Teacher Li is instantly enraged by the defamation, promising to unleash her family's legal team to bankrupt the troll. Du Zaiteng calmly tells her it isn't her fault, refusing to let the petty drama ruin their lunch. Yi Feng, meanwhile, gloats over his handiwork in the club, hoping this scandal will get Du Zaiteng expelled. In the capital, Shen Yuchu works late into the night, looking deeply depressed as she realizes he truly doesn't care. Her friend bursts in with late-night snacks and the scandalous rumor, showing her the photo of him with another woman. Shen Yuchu is furious, refusing to believe he would stoop so low as to sell himself for money. She hysterically demands to know why he didn't just come to her for money, instead of letting people misunderstand him. She screams that he's antisocial and wouldn't be close to a woman unless he was being paid. As she breaks down crying, her friend desperately tries to calm her, pointing out the glaring holes in the rumor. She complains about having to deal with this, but Shen Yuchu refuses to listen to reason. The friend rationally points out his cheap clothes and the public cafeteria setting, deducing it's just a normal relationship. Unable to bear the uncertainty, Shen Yuchu decides to fly to Huabei University that very night to confront him directly. At Huabei, Du Zaiteng's assistant tracks down the troll, revealing him to be a sophomore who takes money to post dirt. The assistant confirms the evidence is enough to send the culprit to jail and slap him with a massive defamation fine. Without a hint of mercy, Du Zaiteng orders him to proceed with the lawsuit to the fullest extent of the law. As Du Zaiteng walks away, the assistant thinks to himself that this young man has no idea how powerful he will soon become. Returning to his dorm, Du Zaiteng finds his friends pacing anxiously about the rumors. He easily assures them that the situation is already handled and the posts have been deleted. Changing the subject, he brings out late-night snacks for his relieved friends to share. The next day, as he steps out of his classroom, he freezes, rubbing his eyes in disbelief. Standing right there in the hallway, having flown across the country to find him, are Shen Yuchu and her friend. The sudden appearance of Shen Yuchu outside his classroom sends ripples of shock through Du Zaiteng's classmates. But Du himself is far from thrilled, bluntly telling her he wants no part of her drama. Desperate to keep his new life separate from his past, he tells them to make it quick. When she insists on talking, he reluctantly lets her and her friend tag along in a chauffeured car. He explains he has urgent business to attend to, and their destination is the police station. Inside, the architect of the vicious rumors, Zhang Xiao, sits in a holding room. Zhang remains smug, believing he'll be released with a mere slap on the wrist. But Du shatters his illusion, coldly informing him that his academic career is effectively over. Realizing that Zhang is just a pawn, Du pieces together the puzzle of who orchestrated this. He concludes that only his old rival, Yifeng, would go to such elaborate lengths. The realization hits him. Yifeng must also possess memories of their past lives. As Zhang pathetically begs for mercy, Du remains entirely unmoved by his tears. Turning his back, he leaves the lackey to face the full weight of the law. Back in the car, Du clarifies that his school intervened to help clear his name. When Shen asks why he chose a university so far away, Du internally notes it was specifically to escape her. To quickly end the visit, Du takes them to the bustling school cafeteria. Their presence doesn't go unnoticed. Students immediately begin whispering about the new arrival. They snap photos of the trio, assuming Shen is Du's new high-profile girlfriend. The photos spread like wildfire online, fueling intense campus gossip. These images inevitably reach Yifeng, who is consumed by jealousy at the sight of Shen seeking out Du. Back at the cafeteria, Shen's friend excuses herself to take a call. Left alone, Shen tries to lower her guard, attempting a sincere conversation about her feelings. Du, however, shuts her down with brutal efficiency. He accuses her of either pitying him or coming to mock him, making it clear he harbors no lingering affection. His final demand is absolute. From this day forward, they are to be complete strangers. The harsh finality of his words breaks Shen, who flees the cafeteria in tears. Her chest tight with panic, she suddenly collapses on the pavement. Rushed to the hospital, she wakes up pale and devastated by the confrontation. Her friend scolds her for her stubborn pride, insisting that she must be honest. Shen reveals the depth of Du's rejection, heartbroken that his former devotion has turned to ice. Her friend insists that if she truly loves him, she must confess clearly. She urges Shen to throw away her rich girl attitude and lay her heart bare. Shen resolves to find Du and make things right before it's too late. Meanwhile, on campus, a popular senior girl publicly confesses her love to Du with a massive bouquet. Not wanting to humiliate her, Du accepts the flowers to save her face. However, he gently and respectfully declines her feelings, citing his focus on his studies. This small act of grace makes him realize he hasn't lost his warmth. He just refuses to give it to Shen. Unfortunately, Shen witnesses this tender rejection from a distance, and the contrast shatters her. Back in her hospital bed, she is paralyzed by the fear that she has entirely lost him. Her friend gives her one final push to cast aside her ego and speak the truth. Fueled by desperation, Shen receives a call confirming Yifeng's role in the smear campaign. With ruthless efficiency, she orders the complete dismantling of Yifeng's family empire. Within days, Yifeng is dragged out of his dorm by police, his arrogance replaced by frantic despair. When Shen visits him in jail, he violently claims his actions were driven by love, but she regards him with disgust. Sometime later, Du's meticulously crafted Ningxian incense takes center stage at a high society auction. Bidding skyrockets until the Shen family places a staggering 50 million offer. Unfazed by the wealth, Du publicly donates the entire sum to a local orphanage. Outside the auction hall, a torrential downpour sets the stage as Shen waits for him. Drenched and stripped of all her former arrogance, she tearfully confesses her love. She begs to just be by his side, even as a lowly follower. But Du looks at her with the heavy exhaustion of a man who suffered for years in a past life. He tells her that by walking away, he is finally freeing them both. Leaving her sobbing on the cold stone, Du firmly walks away into the rain. He takes a deep breath of the rain-washed city air, stepping into a future that belongs entirely to him.